Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good.
Well, welcome to chapel here at United Theological Seminary of the Twin Cities. My name is Ariel Johnson. I am doing a Master's of Arts in Theology and the Arts here, and I am also a United Methodist by trade, and so I am here representing our United Methodist group that meets here on campus. In my daytime non-student job, I am the Director of Children, Youth, and Family Ministries at a church in South Minneapolis called Lake Harriet, and so it's a pretty cool thing to be able to be here and be like right across the street and be in person. We have a few folks online with us as well. My new best friend, Carrie, hello to you, who will help be leading us from Zoom land. She comes to us from the other side of Wisconsin, so she would have had a huge drive to get here, so she's from Zoom land. And the other creator of this chapel service is named Calvin, and he is in New York, so he also would have had a really, really long drive to be here. So we welcome them from Zoom land, and we welcome those of you on Zoom land, those in the room, and those who might be watching this later. Hey-o, shout out, look at you doing the worship at a later time. We love it. We love it so much for you. So as I mentioned, we're part of the United Methodist group here, and so we are really excited to be hosting chapel this evening as part of that. Because next Thursday is Holy Thursday, and we will not be having a chapel offering, we decided to offer this chapel the story of Jesus praying in the garden. All of the parts of chapel today are reflective of our United Methodist Church tradition, so participate as you feel led. If there's something that you're like, maybe not so much, feel free to just sit and relax in this space, but we do really appreciate you joining us today to be in this space together. To get us started, is one of the things that we love to do here in the United Methodist Church is we love to sing, and we love to sing hymns. So you are welcome to stay seated, but we will join together in singing We Are a Wilderness Wandering People, and I have these lovely sheets, and for those of you in Zoom land, it's posted in the chat. So now I get to do the little button.
Okay.
Here we go. Maybe. Boop. Boop. Boop.
Oh, we're doing great. Hold please.
Bam.
We are a wilderness wandering people on a journey of the soul. May we find our destination in our longing to be whole. Our holy God is calling to us with Jesus by our side. May compassion be our compass. May the Spirit be our guide. May we cherish all our children. Let us heal our families' pain. Let us cure our city's madness. Let love and justice reign, reconciled with one another, in prayer and praise and song, with a body of Christ together, and we know that we belong, we belong, we belong, we belong.
I am now going to turn it over to Chaplain Carrie, who will lead us in some time of prayer.
I invite us into a time where we can find rootedness through our feet. We can find a way that is comfortable to sit, and we can be present to our God. I invite us into this time of prayer. Holy God, in a time of darkness you created. Taking water, stone, and sky you separated. Pulling, pushing, removing, and building until there was, and it was good. In time you created humans, formed to be in relationship with you. As we gather on this evening, we are aware of our ongoing relationship in and with you. We actively seek your presence of pulling and pushing, removing and building in our lives. We seek you in our darkness. We call for you in our unrest. We desire you in the reminders that all is not right in your creation. We want you in our anguish. We seek a renewed relationship with you, calling out in prayer as Jesus did in the garden. Hear our collective and individual prayer for ourselves and our community. May we be people creating in your name, building in love until there is, and it is good. As your servants we pray. Amen.
Thank you so much, Carrie. As we are still in this time of prayer and reflection, I'm going to invite you to listen to a song prepared by the church bell choir that Calvin has at his church. This is why we talk a lot about grace and mercy in the United Methodist Church, because technology is always a moment to remember to give grace, right?
Look at God.
Amen. Our scripture reading for today comes from the New Testament in the Gospels. We're looking at the Gospel of Matthew, which is arguably the fourth best gospel. And it's going to be chapter 26, verses 36 through 46 for us today. Jesus prays in Gethsemane. Then Jesus went with them to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." He took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee and began to be grieved and agitated. Then he said to them, "I am deeply grieved, even to death. Remain here and stay awake with me." And going a little farther, he threw himself on the ground and prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me, yet not what I want, but what you want." Then he came to the disciples and found them sleeping. And he said to Peter, "So could you not stay awake with me 1 hour? Stay awake and pray that you may not come into the time of trial. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." And again, Jesus went away for the second time and prayed, "My Father, if this cannot pass unless I drink it, your will be done." And again he came and found them sleeping, for their eyes were heavy. So leaving them again, he went away and prayed for the third time, saying the same words. Then he came to the disciples and said to them, "Are you still sleeping and taking your rest? See, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Get up, let us be going. See, my betrayer is at hand." Word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. So before I go into a little bit of a message, meditation, reflection-y thingy here, I would like to say, so one of the people who is part of our group and the designer of the chapel today, Carla, could not be with us here in person because she had surgery with her knees this morning. So we're praying for Carla, that her surgery goes well and she recovers well. And so this message that I am giving is part of her words and then part of mine. So we kind of work together to collaborate it. So Carla, we're thinking of you and know that the words are inspired by her and myself and, of course, by God. Amen. So Holy, or Maundy Thursday, is celebrated this year in 2023 by the Western Church on April 6th and on April 13th in the Eastern Orthodox Church. Now, Maundy Thursday, which is the Thursday before Easter, is believed to be the day when Jesus celebrated his final Passover meal with his disciples. The Passover meal is celebrated annually by Jews to remember their ancestors' escape from Egypt. Now, most notably, the Passover meal was when Jesus washed the feet of his disciples in an extraordinary display of humility. Now, the word Maundy is a shortened form of the Latin word mandatum, which means command. And at this same meal, that's when Jesus gave this command to his disciples. We can find it in the book of John, chapter 13, verse 34. "Just as I have loved you, you are also to love one another." Now, during this meal, Jesus explained what would be happening next in his life. And that's also where we get our practice of communion, because Jesus took both the bread and the wine from the supper and blessed them, and he symbolized the crucifixion that would be coming soon. Now, after this meal, Jesus and his disciples went to the Garden of Gethsemane, near the foot of the Mount of Olives. The name in Gethsemane in Hebrew means oil press, because olive trees were numerous in the garden. It was nighttime, and Jesus wanted to pray. So he took his disciples with him and asked them to watch and pray, which, as you just heard, they did not do a very good job at. Now, if you've ever camped out on the ground, you might find that there always seems to be a stone or two that are underneath you. And so we wonder if maybe there were stones underneath the disciples as they lay sleeping in that garden. The narrative of the gospel has Jesus moving away from them and praying over a rock. Now, large stones or rocks hold up many things, right? Walls, foundations, buildings, mountains, the literal earth. And in this narrative, it says that Jesus fell on his face and prayed. But there are some who believe that Jesus might actually have used a rock to hold himself up to pray. And thus, beside the garden is the church of all nations, built over the rock on which Jesus is believed to have prayed in agony before he was betrayed by Judas Iscariot and arrested. Now let's talk a little bit about rocks and stones. Now, growing up in my family, my grandfather had a really large garden that I would help to tend sometimes. Help being a loose word there. Our job was to pull up all of the weeds and then remove the rocks from the garden. But it wasn't in my childhood in this garden that rocks were everywhere. It was also at home in the front lawn. My mother would mow and she would say, "Hey, come on out here, remove the rocks from the grassy yard first. That way they wouldn't go flying and hit something or someone." Now in Gethsemane, we expect that there were probably some rocks and stones because it lay at the foot of the Mount of Olives. So rocks and stones were probably rolling downhill and already there at the bank. And amidst the beauty of the garden and among the hard rocks and stones in the middle of the night, I think it's important to note that even in these last moments before his death, Jesus turns to God in prayer. He demonstrates that in the hardest of times and in the best of times, for example, during the wonderful Passover meal with his friends, God is always at the center as a fortress. We can take a lovely quote from our friend Martin Luther, who says, "A mighty fortress is our God," which is also arguably one of the best Lutheran hymns out there, just saying. Strong and dependable and never failing God is, just like these rocks. And one of my favorite ways to pray is using prayer stones. Has anyone in here or online ever used a prayer stone to pray? That smooth surface, you can just take it out of your pocket and feel it. It's so calming. One of the things that I love about them is I have some painted ones that I use that either I've found on my walks or my youth and children that I work with have painted for me. One of the things I like to imagine is that maybe Jesus found strengths in these rocks in the garden while he was praying to God for the strength for what is about to come. As Holy Week approaches us, I'd like to ask you if you could think about who are the rocks are in your life. Who are those people that are lifting you up during those times when life seems too hard to push through it? How are you meditating or praying or experiencing the divine or the nature around you? Anything that helps you to uplift and fill your spirit. Holy Week provides us with both the dark and the light. And it's really easy to focus on the light and forget about the dark, but that's just as important. It's important for us to reflect on the anguish that comes along with Holy Week, the darkness that Jesus walked through knowingly. But the thing is, he didn't walk it all alone, and he definitely walked it using prayer. And after all, at the very end of the Easter story, what do we get? Hope. Let me leave you with this. Rocks and stones can be annoying. They are uncomfortable to lay on. They seem to be literally everywhere in our garden, and they can cause us to trip and fall. But they are incredibly strong. So strong that in the 1834 hymn, "My Hope is Built on Nothing Less" by Edward Mate, Christ is named the solid rock to hold fast to, as all other ground is shaking sand. May we move through the world with strength, love, and hope. May we lean on those rocks. Amen. I invite you now to listen to this song called "I Believe."
I believe in the sun. I believe in the sun, even when it's not shining. believe in the sun. I believe in the sun, even when it's not shining. I believe in love. I believe in love, even when I don't feel it. I believe in love. I believe in love, even when I don't feel it. I believe in love. I believe in love, even when I don't feel it. I believe in love. I believe in love, even when I don't feel it. I believe in God. I believe in God, even when God is silent.
Thank you for joining us for a few moments of peace, of questioning, of togetherness. Now I pray that you go forward with this blessing. May strength and love and hope go with you now and always. May you find those rocks that lift you up. May you find peace. May you find joy. And know that wherever you are, whoever you are, whenever you are such a beloved child of God. You are loved, you are seen, you are known. Blessings and peace be with you. Amen.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us today. My name is Nikki. I'm the chaplain here at United. Thank you so much for all those that have contributed to this wonderful chapel service. Ariel and Chaplain Carrie and Carla, blessings to you as we hope for a swift and amazing recovery. United Methodist Group, thank you so much for all that you do for us, and thank you for being here. And so next week is Holy Week, as that was said today, so we won't have chapel next Thursday, but 2 weeks from now, we're going to have an interfaith chapel. It'll be our last chapel of the quarter, so y'all come on back and see us. And then in our off week, which we're going to have an Earth Day chapel. So you all come on back and see us. Have a good day. Happy Holy Week. Happy Easter and all the things.